Welcome back. All right, third review of the night. We're going to talk about St. Louis in against the Minnesota Wild, this being another Game 5. This was the first time since 1991 and only the second time in NHL history that we had a night where you had four series tied at 2 with Game 5s all being played. And so, it honestly, some surprising results out of tonight, although the reason I picked St. Louis before this series has really started to show up. The St. Louis Blues have so much depth. They have the experience. They have the veterans that seem to know how to win at the right time of year. And here we go. So it's Binnington versus Fleury. Early jump for Minnesota. But the Blues press and they draw a power play. And that power play connects. At 4:53, it's O'Reilly from Shannon Perunovich. So Perunovich standing in. I don't think a defenseman got hurt for St. Louis tonight, so small miracles. And Perunovich has looked good. So this is where that depth really shows up for St. Louis. And O'Reilly buries it on a rebound. The pushing starts with the next shift. So the dislike really shows up on the next shift. Minnesota at home wanting to, kind of assert themselves there. The shots are 3-2, though, for the Blues at 6 minutes. So the Wild, who got, I believe they had the first two shots of the game, were getting stymied at that point. Tarasenko then has a rush chance that saved. The Wild press, but they're kept to the outside. Then there's a press by the Blues at 8 minutes. Zuccarello has a chance that deflects out as the Wild were then pressing. Kaprizov fires one wide on a rush. The Wild with the 3-on-2. Duhaime with the near miss on that. Then we had a power play for the Wild, and it connects. That power play tonight was lethal for Minnesota. They just didn't have enough opportunities. Kaprizov scores from Spurgeon and Fiala at 13:15. Just blasts it. Good pass by Spurgeon as well. So the Wild had momentum and they're seeking the lead. There's a press by the Wild with 5 minutes left. A Foligno hit on Mikkola gets quite the cheer from the crowd. 3:16 left. The Wild go back to the power play, and it does not take long. This connects pretty quickly. At 17:07, it is Kaprizov from Fiala and Zuccarello. So Fiala with a couple of helpers, Kaprizov with a couple of goals. It's suddenly 2-1 for Kaprizov because nobody else in Minnesota scored a goal yet. So that was a fantastic goal. It got a just wow from me, and he's the one that drew that power play. So it was the Kaprizov show at this point. Eriksson Ek then had a rush chance that's held. Things get scrummy with 31.3 seconds left after a Fleury save. Jost then had a rush chance that was held. And after the first period, again, it's Kaprizov 2, the Blues 1. So second period, the Blues nearly score on the first shift, and they draw themselves a power play. So much like in the first period, they draw themselves an early power play in the second. But there's a shorthanded Eriksson Ek chance that's blocked. They do kill that off. So Minnesota kills that off, and that's the end of the power plays. This was honestly, from a point of view of looking for a bunch of penalties, this just wasn't the game. This was a game where you can view it one of two ways. Either it was a clean game, or the referees put their whistles away. Either way. Shots are 3-1 for the Blues at 4 minutes. The Wild, though, they do press at 6 minutes. Rosen then had a near miss on a rush. The Wild are hitting a lot, but they're not getting very many looks 5-on-5. So both of those goals by Kaprizov are on the power play. But 5-on-5, Minnesota's getting no room out there. St. Louis is giving them basically nothing. Middleton fires one high on a rush. Mikkola then had a chance that deflects out. Tarasenko had one on his feet in the doorstep. Couldn't quite get the handle on it, and it's cleared out. Spurgeon then had a rush chance that was saved. Perron has a blast deflect out. Boldy with a rush chance that was saved. And then it's Saad. And it's a good forecheck. It's deflected in by Saad. Kyrou did a lot of the work there. Kyrou gets the first assist. Thomas with the second. That's at 15:28. So that ties the game at 2. And it really kind of takes the air out of the building on that one, too. Shen then throws a big hit on Kaprizov. So we're starting to see the physicality on the blue side a little bit. Not a lot of hits in this game. Again, it felt like a cleaner game than some of the other ones we've seen. But yeah, 3-on-2 then for the Wild. That gets broken up. Foligno considers high-sticking Mikkola and kind of did the 2 for flinching thing. Like, it was weird. He kind of like thinks, I'm going to swing my stick, and he doesn't. And it's that thing you do to somebody and you wait for them to flinch so you can give them a couple of shots. I don't know. Mikkola just kind of looks at him. There's not much of a reaction from Mikkola at all. So Foligno thought about it, and if he'd known how the game was going to end, maybe he would have gone for it. So the Wild try for one in the final 30 seconds, but St. Louis blocks him out. So we go to the third period. Early chances for both teams. And then Tarasenko takes over the game. He scores at 1:03 from Buchnevich and Falk. So that's a big goal for St. Louis to get the lead. And that goal is at 2:31. I didn't write down the time. Very unusual I wouldn't write down the time. So Barbashev and Falk with the assist on that one. Now this one, I thought Barbashev made a great play on that one to set it up. But at the same time, that's where you really need a save. Now, Tarasenko is one of the best goal scorers on St. Louis. He's arguably one of the better goal scorers in the league. I'm not saying it was necessarily a weak goal, but that's where you had to get that save because that 4-2 goal really takes the wind out of the sails of Minnesota, out of the crowd, and it gave all the confidence in the world to the St. Louis Blues. Such an important goal, and that was 3 goals on the last 4 shots from the Blues, including that one from Saad towards the, well, not the end, of 15:28 of the second period. So over a period of, let's see, 4:32, about 7 minutes time, 3 goals allowed on 4 shots. So I said after the last game, I thought Talbot should start this one. I would say Talbot should start the next one, but I don't think Dean Evason's going to make that change. I think it's still going to be Fleury for Game 6. So, what happens after that? The Wild would press at 4 minutes. Falk has a rush chance that's saved. The Wild press, but again, they're kept to the outside. St. Louis, they'll give you the zone. They're not giving you the front of the net. They're not giving you the middle of the ice. Then there's a press by the Wild with 7 minutes left. The Blues then had a 3-on-2 that fizzled. And one of the reasons there's not very many notes is because this is continuous play. St. Louis is now doing a St. Louis thing that feels like an Islanders thing. You get the lead, you're up by a couple, and then just no whistles. No penalties, no whistles, few hits, just back and forth action, keep them to the outside, and kill the clock. So this is one of those things where, and they talked about this too, what that also does to Minnesota is it means you're not getting the stoppages. You're not getting the commercial breaks. You're not giving Minnesota a chance to make the necessary adjustments to what you're doing. It's continuous play. They just have to react in the moment. There's no real time here for planning, and it works for St. Louis. So, Blues cycle, fans are getting restless at this point. They're looking at the clock. They know it's counting down. They were 7 minutes and 5 seconds between whistles. I've had people say, well, who cares if there's no whistles on reviews during the regular season? I don't think anybody's going to complain about that in a review for a postseason game because it's really important that continuous time is going and there's not enough shots being directed at the St. Louis net during that time. So we're down to 5.5 minutes left. Saad blasts one wide. Kyrou with a bank shot, that won't go. Too many rebounds, again, by Fleury on this one. Bozak gets tied up on a certain goal. That would have gone in. 3:23 left. The goalie gets pulled. Mikkola with a post on an empty net goal try, so it becomes icing with 2:24 left. Now, if it hit the post and come right back, perfect. But it hits the post and then it crosses the goal line, so it's icing. Kaprizov has a rush. That's deflected wide. So, almost. And then the empty net goal, it's Tarasenko from Buchnevich at 18:27. That is a natural hat trick. It is the second career playoff hat trick for Vlad Tarasenko. And so St. Louis wins 5-2. They're up 3-2 and going home. So Tarasenko is your first star because, of course, he is. Binnington's the second star. Minnesota has to find a way to get to Binnington. Kaprizov is your third star because he was fantastic in the first. He gets shut down, though, in the second and third. So your shots are 12-9 for Minnesota in the first, 11 apiece in the second, 12-10 St. Louis in the third. Final shots 33-32 for Minnesota. Power plays, St. Louis 1 for 2, Minnesota 2 for 2. The hits were 25-19 for Minnesota. Binnington saves 31 out of 33. Fleury saves 27 out of 31. So there you go. St. Louis, if they can win at home, they can end this series in a couple of days. We'll see how many of these actually go to 7. Usually they get finished in 6, but we may end up with a bunch of Game 7s. This first round has been so close. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a bunch of Game 7s. But let me know your thoughts about this game in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.